Hello my friends. Right, I'm going to share with you today an experience of mine about moss poles. Everybody goes on about how things should be attached to a moss pole, and watering the moss pole is a challenge, keeping the moss pole wet is difficult, blah blah blah. So I had myself all geared up that I was going to do this fantastic moss pole. I was going to buy the moss, I was going to put a plastic beaker in the top of the moss pole and put a hole in the bottom of that so it would drip down slowly, soaking all the rest of the moss underneath. And do you know what? I thought I can't be arsed. I cannot be arsed to stress over a bloody moss pole. So I've decided I've got some moss which I found on the ground outside my house, at the back of the house. There's some old derelict garages. So I found all this moss on the floor. So I just scooped it up and I've put it in a moss pole, whatever they're called, holder. The problem with this, as I can see so far, is the light's just gone in now. Can you see weeds growing out of it? Little bits of weeds. There's bits of earth in with that as well. I mean, it was on concrete, but there's gonna be like bits of soil and rubbish off the ground. And you can see here my little weeds. Can you see them growing? Purpose I want the moss pole for is for a plant to hold itself up and climb up so it feels secure. Now, this will work, but it's going to have weeds growing out of it and it will most likely die. The moss will die. And do you know what? I don't care. It'll still look nice. Even if it's dried moss, it will still look nice. But the only downside about it being dead is it might like flake off and make a mess. So I'm going to trial it and see how it goes. I've got one in the living room. I'll take a picture of that and add that on to the video in a little while. And you can see what is happening with the aerial roots on the plant. They are beginning to burrow into the moss pole. So we'll see if it works or not. But the one that I've got in the front room, I've covered the bottom of it with cling film. So this bit here has got cling film on the bottom and it's holding it in place because that one is in leca, and there's no way that if I decided to water that moss pole, I can't control the water that is going into the plant's reservoir. Once it's passed through the moss, I don't know what's going to be left at the end of it. Is it going to just absorb it all, or is there going to be runoff that's going to run into the bottom of my plant, into leca, which will make the reservoir too high, and then there's a possibility that the plant might rot. So it's just pros and cons with it really. So just making it up as I go along.